Here's your opportunity to spend an evening at the new Radisson Plaza Hotel and benefit the American Heart Association. We'll tell you all about it coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're in the presidential suite, the top floor of the newly opened Radisson Plaza Hotel, Myrtle Beach Convention Center. We're focused on its grand opening and the 9th annual Heart Ball, which is scheduled to be held here February 22nd. And we're visiting with Michael Poynter, the Vice President and General Manager of the Radisson Plaza Hotel. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Greg. Nice to see you back again.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for being with us again. And in a new context, of course, last time we were together was the day before your ribbon-cutting ceremony, the first night of actually receiving overnight guests, the day before a snow hit Myrtle Beach and affected travel throughout the state and throughout the Carolinas. And obviously, hopefully some of the sleepless nights have passed and you're getting a little more sleep and keeping things going strong.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much again also for being the presenting sponsor of the 9th Annual Heart Ball, to think about so much that's going to be happening here and to have you here kicking off the week with Jennifer Watson later this morning. We wanted to have an opportunity to catch up with some of the viewers who may not have seen you week before last.
Right.
Can we catch up about you? You have been with Carlson Worldwide, the owner of Radisson Plaza Hotel, here for how long?
With the company for 4 years.
Okay.
As we said, we are the managing company because the actual hotel is owned by the city, of course. But I've worked for Carlson for 4 years.
And how long in the hospitality industry?
All my life. As we mentioned before when we met last week, I was literally born in a hotel. My father had a country house hotel in England and closed at the winter time and couldn't get to hospital in time. And the rest is history, so to speak.
That
it really is in the blood.
That it is. Can you give viewers a sense of what it was like growing up in the hospitality industry, knowing that that was going to be a commitment that you would make for much of your life?
Well, my father was very passionate about the hotel business, and I'm very passionate. I just love it. If I could have my life over again, I would probably do the same thing. Maybe take out some of the things that we should have done better in the past. But I've enjoyed it immensely. It's been very good to me. I've seen the world with the hotel business. Met lots of good friends and great people, so I enjoy it immensely.
That's wonderful. Last week, big day here, Thursday, snow. What was that? What was that like? Can you give the viewers a sense of your ribbon-cutting ceremony?
Well, we were a little concerned when we saw the weather was going to be the worst day in the South Carolina for years, because as you know, we had the governor was due to arrive. We found out mid-morning that due to some of the bad weather in Columbia, he couldn't make it, which was a great disappointment. But what we were very pleased about, there was a huge turnout, a lot more guests than expected. Originally, invitations were about 250. We estimated about 400 people were here for the ribbon cutting. We were delighted that Mr. Chad Pross was here, and of course the past governor, Mr. Carroll Campbell, I believe, was here. So we're very pleased. Of course, the city council, the hotel board as well. So great turnout, great turnout. The employees did their job flawlessly. Of course, the ribbon cutting was supposed to be outside, but it was a little chilly to be out there, so we brought it into the hotel, which allowed the guests to stay seated while we cut the ribbon in the lobby of the hotel. Incredible array of dignitaries. Had many of them been to the hotel before? No, some had and some had not, and I think they were absolutely delighted by the quality of the hotel. I think it's certainly kudos to the city for building such a fabulous hotel. A beautiful property, great interior design, very, very surprised. A lot of people said we didn't realize this was going to be quite so elegant. They thought it was going to be more of a convention center hotel, which it is, but I think they were surprised by the elegance and the luxury of the interior design, as you can see by the presidential suite we're sitting in here this morning. Very definitely. I can say I had not taken a tour before yesterday. I was here for a Heart Association a meeting, one of the kickoffs for the Heart Ball, and to walk around on a little tour to see the M Bar, to see the restaurant, the pots and pans hanging from the ceiling. You'd think, oh, what a mess. But it's incredible. Yeah. It is. The M Bar is lovely. I think M Bar is a bar that could, we hope it's going to become a very popular destination with people from Myrtle Beach. It's on the second floor of the hotel. It could be a bar you could find in New York or Chicago. It's a lovely bar. It's very, very modern. I think you'll notice the interior design. I think when your viewers come and visit us, they'll find that it's a beautiful bar. We hope it becomes a mainstay for Myrtle Beach residents. Aside from the M Bar, can you give viewers
kind of a virtual tour, if they're not online checking out the hotel, or if they're not actually walking through, to give an incentive. As you know, the bulk of our viewers are in the Florence PD area, up in Robinson and Scotland County, off of I-95, pretty easy to get down here. Give the viewers a sense of what it's like when they enter the hotel and then traveling up maybe even to this floor, the 12th floor, just what they'd see if they visited the hotel.
Well, they enter on the lobby level, which is a very beautiful lobby. It's a mixture of stainless steel, of beautiful woods, a very modern-looking design. That's where the concierge desk is located. And our check-in, we don't like to say desk, it's the individual pods, because the guests can walk around them as opposed to having an actual desk. We believe that enhances customer service. There's the 4 elevators take to the 2nd level. We have a beautiful spiral staircase at the end of the lobby that takes guests to the M Bar. From the M Bar, you can then walk through the Vidalia's restaurant, which is proving to be very popular. We're getting rave reviews about our cuisine from our chef, James Clark. We're delighted this young man has joined us. We're specializing in low-country cuisine. Between the M Bar and the restaurant, we do have coffee and cream, which features Starbucks coffee, which we find is fabulous because it's one of the premier brands of coffee in the country. And we also serve Starbucks in our guest rooms for complimentary morning coffee. We have 2 private floors on the 12th and 11th. You're sitting in the sitting in the presidential suite. We have private check-in on the 11th floor and a private plaza concierge lounge. So I think your viewers, once they come to visit, will be beautifully surprised by such a quality hotel that they can clearly call their own.
Very definitely, and I hope they will. I hope they will. Other projects you've been involved in, the opening of other Radisson Plaza hotels or other hotels worldwide. Had you had any experiences similar to the, I'm sure you had you had some experience over the last 10 years that you can remember and give the viewers a sense of how those would differ from a week before last opening here?
Well, prior to joining Carlson, I've opened a number of hotels as a general manager. I've had some very interesting and some horror stories about hotels. I was in Jamaica for 4 years, which was probably the most difficult time of the opening. It wasn't a Radisson. We were about 2 years late from opening, so we had a lot of opportunities and about $15 million over budget. What I love about this hotel project is we were absolutely on time, on budget. And as we I discussed last week, the hotel is about 99.9% complete. I think that speaks volumes for the city, the Pegram and Associates, the architects, the project management, Steve Ustry, Welber Construction, that did a super job. The quality of the work is second to none. We are very, very, very pleased. My boss was actually in Lowell Langford last week and said it's one of the nicest hotels he had seen in a long time, which we're very pleased. So.
Yes.
Very excited about this and the comments we're getting from our guests.
And you're still involved with the management of other Radisson hotels?
Yes.
Where are those located, Michael?
I have one in San Francisco, I have one in Aruba, and I have some in Texas. We're responsible for Carlson managed and owned hotels. We do not deal with Radisson franchise, so my responsibility includes the hotels we actually have an equity stake in. Alternatively, we actually have straight management contract as this hotel is today. So my boss is looking to regionalize this somewhat because getting from Myrtle Beach to San Francisco, well, I love the city, it's a long way to go. In fact, I'm leaving for Aruba next week to attend a board meeting or an owners meeting because we are a 50% owner with the Aruban government. So we have the quarterly board meeting 12th of February.
How do you do that, Michael? I know we talked about it when you were on week before last, but what's that? How do you go about overseeing not only a physical location here in Myrtle Beach, but having to travel? Are you able to do a lot of this on phone, on email? How do you keep about with the other general managers of the properties?
Well, we do all of that. The real secret is hiring great general managers who clearly are passionate about the business and understand the need, firstly, to have a return to the ownership, as well as offering great customer service, which we do. The second, I stay in touch with them 2 or 3 times a week through phone calls, but we're also very much a digital company. Everything we do is actually online. I can look at their results from last night. This morning I was in my office reviewing the financial statistics from all the hotels, the occupancy. I can look at whether there's any guest complaints from those hotels, how it's handled. I can look at everything the hotels were doing, and that's how I communicate with my managers. But again, the secret is hiring great people.
Definitely.
Great people.
Had you visited Myrtle Beach before your involvement on this project?
No, I had not. No, I started coming here about 18 months or 2 years ago as vice president in charge of the overseeing of the development of the hotel. Liked Myrtle Beach so much, decided this would be a great opportunity for me to come down here. So we felt it was such an important project, both for Radisson and the city, is I should relocate my office to Myrtle Beach, continue my role as regional VP of operations, but also be general manager of this hotel. And it's working out very well.
It sure is. It shows. It sure is. And I know you gave an incredible kudos to the city, to Pegram, to Wellbro, to Stephen Usry, and all the folks involved in building out the facility. And there's so many other folks, the council and even the community, embracing, even slowly, but embracing the concept of convention center hotel that's owned by the city. Any challenges that stick out in your mind? It's probably, as you said, 99.9% complete at opening. That's virtually impossible. Have there been any challenges along the way that you've had to keep your eyes on, in particular, to focus prior to the ribbon cutting?
I don't think so. Like any hotel, there are challenges opening a hotel, but I think we've had a terrific relationship with Paul Edwards, the general manager of the convention center. He has been incredibly helpful. We utilized his office space for the pre-opening, which certainly saved us some money. Bill Sigmund, who is the convention director of sales and marketing, we have a great relationship. So there's no, challenges, yes, of course, there's always challenges. There's difficulties, there's stress in opening a hotel. But by and large, it's gone very well, very smoothly, indeed, which I'm very proud of. The whole team should be very proud of that.
And the whole team is. February 22nd.
Yes.
It's getting close. We're a little less than 3 weeks away. Can we talk about what's going to happen that night at y'all's grand opening celebration party and also the 9th Annual Heart Ball?
Well, we're very excited because when we decided to do a grand opening, which we need for the hotel, we decided that we had to go with a charity. It was recommended by Mr. Walt Standish, who's the chairman of the Hotel Corporation, Hotel Board, that we should would we think of using the South Carolina Heart Association. Great charity, absolutely. Gone are the days where you can just have a large party and it's all free and the money doesn't go anywhere, but people have a great time. So we felt that what we would sponsor the Heart Association annual ball that's held, as you know, every year. We were delighted to participate in this. We will be doing a lot of sponsorship. We're paying for the entertainment. We're underwriting all the food, the beverage service. We have a reduced rate for our guests. Those that come to stay in the hotel have a special $65 rate. We like to say take the elevator home so they don't drink and drive. They can enjoy and buy a nice little cocktail in the meeting space and then go to their room afterwards. The function will be between the ballroom in the convention center, which is completely refurbished and looks absolutely gorgeous, and the hotel itself. So guests will arrive into the Hall of Fame area. They'll then be directed to the hotel lobby and the meeting space and bar area, where there's going to be cocktails, entertainment, featuring some of the foods we serve in the hotel. They will also view some of the auction items in the hotel. At 8 o'clock, they'll move through to the convention space, to the meeting room, I should say to the ballroom, where there's great entertainment by chairman of the board, which we're underwriting the entertainment. Great food served by Simple Elegance. Now we hope that when things start to slow down a little in the ballroom after 10, 11 o'clock, we're then going to have music and dessert and ports and liqueurs back in the hotel. So I hope to see the place very busy until the wee small hours of the morning. It's Saturday night, so people can rest late and have room service, breakfast, and not go to work. So it's an exciting time. I think on the Sears side, we're going to contribute hopefully a lot of the money to allow the association to maximize the fundraising, because first and foremost it is a fundraising effort in conjunction with the actual opening of the hotel. So we feel that's very important.
And you've also provided a really special prize for some lucky couple.
Yes.
Can you tell the viewers about that?
Well, everybody who arrives gets a passport, and they have to visit different areas of the hotel, and they have to have that passport stamped to make sure they visit that area. Little way we get to make sure they see the hotel. At the end of the evening, we're going to draw a passport, and the lucky winner's name, we're going to have an all-expenses-paid trip, including air flight to Aruba, to our stunning Radisson Aruba Resort and Casino, which was reopened about 3 years ago. They're going to be our guests in the presidential suite for 7 nights. It's a stunning resort, and I'll be there in about 3 weeks myself. Won't be in the presidential suite, but a lucky recipient for 2 will go to Aruba.
That is amazing.
Sometime this year, yes.
Absolutely. Yes. That's worth coming down and to have the opportunity to pay as little as $125 for the ticket and $65 for a room night.
Be a great night.
Who would a viewer want to call? What number would they want to call for reservations?
Call the hotel number at 918-5000. Call directly, or they can certainly go online to radisson.com and they can make reservations. But this is a special rate, so I would recommend they call the hotel directly. Rooms are going fast because the Friday evening we're actually sold out by another group. So again, reservations can only be taken for Saturday night and Sunday night if they wish. But we hope most people will be checking in mid-afternoon on the Saturday, relaxing, enjoying the bar, and then clearly enjoying a fabulous evening and raising a lot of money for a very worthwhile cause.
Very definitely. And speaking of the worthwhile cause, Michael, is there anyone within your family, large or small, that have had involvement or had any effect from heart disease or strokes?
Well, actually, my father, who passed away about 12 years ago, actually died of a stroke. He had a heart attack, and about a year later he passed away. So that was a very tough time for our family. Fortunately, you know, I get myself checked every year. I have an annual physical. I exercise a lot. I try not to do the things that he did. I think just to say I'd like to live to. He died when he was 72. So I think that it was tough on the family, but. Fortunately, the rest of the family, my mother died, but she died of other causes, but not heart problems. So really, my father. So again, when I sat at the meeting yesterday, it really when one of the ladies was reciting her problems with heart, it took me back to my father and the problems he had. So I'm delighted to be able to participate, and we hope we can continue this relationship.
We hope so as well,
Right.
Michael. What has impressed you the most about your move to Myrtle Beach?
Well, as you know, we came from Minneapolis after 3 years, and before that we were a substantial amount of time in Moscow. So the weather, although you wouldn't look at it in the last few days, has been a substantial improvement. We love the area. We love the ocean. We like Myrtle Beach, and I think that it's interesting. A lot of our people from Minneapolis that's been here from the corporate offices have been incredibly delighted by the friendliness of the associates, and I think that's what I like about South Carolina. My wife is from Texas. I used to say that Texans were the friendliest people on earth. Excuse me, dear, if I'm talking about this, but I think maybe the South Carolinians have an edge on Texas.
Wow.
But it really is. It's fun, and I like the size and feel of Myrtle Beach. I love the beach. It's great to go for a walk on the beach in the morning when I have the time. The weather is perfect. So it's a great part of the country to live.
Has there been anyone in particular that's inspired you, Michael, in your life in the hospitality industry?
I suppose you could go back and say my father, because he was very passionate about the business. I did have a lecturer, a professor at college, who was a gentleman who's since passed away, who started on the Mauritania as a young steward and has the most amazing stories about hotels, about how things originated in classic hotels. I started my career in a classic five-star hotel in England. I was very fortunate to meet people like Charlie Chaplin and Richard Burton, Elizabeth Taylor in the years serving them when I was a trainee manager. But again, I think certainly Charles Kay, this lecturer, who was the most grandest old gentleman you've ever met, who I used to be fascinated by listening to the stories of almost a classic time of hotels and cruise lines that since passed, probably between the two world wars in the 30s, I think in the 20s and 30s, which he was a young man at learning the tricks of the trade, so to speak. So.
Michael Poynter, inspired not only by Charles Kay, but by a father born into the industry, wouldn't be doing anything else if he wasn't in this industry. He'd find a way to get back in. Michael, thanks so much for supporting the Heart Association.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Really excited about February 22.
Thank you.
Stay tuned to more Carolina People coming up next. Good morning. Welcome back to Carolina People. This morning we're in the presidential suite, the top floor of the newly opened Radisson Plaza Hotel, Myrtle Beach Convention Center, the location for this year's grand opening and 9th annual Heart Ball to be held here on February 22nd. We're visiting with Jennifer Watson, the charge nurse of the critical care unit at Grand Strand Regional Medical Center and the chairwoman of the 9th annual Heart Ball. This Heart Ball. Jennifer, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
It wasn't only a couple months ago when we were at Lakewood Campground recognizing the Heart Ball was upon us. You and Todd and Tammy came in to give the viewers a sense of what's coming up. At that point, we didn't even know we'd be here.
I know.
We didn't know we'd be in the presidential suite. We'd be highlighting the Heart Ball, and it's getting so close now. We're a little less than 3 weeks away.
We're thrilled.
It's going to be huge.
So excited.
Chairman of the board, the showman,
Yeah.
Long Bay Symphony, incredible food.
It's going to be wonderful.
Potential trip to Aruba, 7 nights.
It's so
Unbelievable.
exciting.
It's going to be a big Heart Ball. And you have volunteered to chair this event this year, second year. That is unbelievable. That's a big commitment.
It is, but it's fun. It really is.
It's really worth it. On a daily basis, you're thinking about a fight of heart disease and strokes. Your husband, who we're going to have on later in the week, as one of the sponsors, cardiology, gastroenterology, the recognition for him as a cardiologist on a daily basis, all the effects of heart disease and stroke in this area.
Yeah.
You'll eat, sleep, and drink heart disease. How does that work, Jennifer? What's that like being in a house
It's
Your husband's a
not.
cardiologist, you're a charge nurse. I mean, that's a big deal.
It is. I mean, actually, work is work, home is home, but we have something very in common.
Yeah.
You know, if I have questions about something that I don't understand, he's right there to explain it to me. And it is. I mean, we do. You're right. We eat, breathe, sleep.
Oh, God.
Heart
Not to
disease.
make it that right. No, that sounds tough. And obviously, things are well when you're thinking about saving lives or helping to protect lives.
Well, and
folks-
we make a difference.
Right.
We really do.
must be
We
great
make a
feeling.
difference.
About yourself, Jennifer, are you originally from this area?
I was born in Columbia and moved down here when I was 5, and have enjoyed Myrtle Beach. Went to high school here. I went to nursing school, got out, and I have been at Grand Strand for 12 years.
Is that right? How long have you been the charge nurse of the coronary care unit?
7 years.
7. What exactly is a charge nurse? What does that mean?
Well, we have all the other nursing responsibilities. It's also a little bit of an administrative level. We make outpatient assignments every day for the other nurses. Right now, as a charge nurse, we don't take patients, so we can help other staff members. We take on a little bit more of administrative duties.
And how did you come to specialize in cardiology care or cardiac care?
Well, both of my parents have died of heart disease.
Oh, wow.
So, being able to work with cardiac patients, it's here.
It really touches you.
Yeah,
yes.
it really does.
Well, that's. I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad to know it's driven home that much to really keep you. The part of the reason why you volunteered as chairwoman 2 years in a row, and that means a lot. How about when you think about the difficulty to care for patients on the coronary care unit? Is it different than other floors of the hospital?
Well, our patients, they have the potential for being very unstable at any given moment. I'm not saying that the patients out on the floors aren't just as sick. They're a little bit more stable. Their vital signs, they've been essentially fixed by the time they get out to the floor. My husband, he's an interventional cardiologist, so if a patient comes in the emergency room having a heart attack, he can actually go in and intervene and actually stop that heart attack from progressing. So whenever he does that, then they come to our unit. They're fixed for the most part, but they're still critical. So, they have a higher potential of being unstable. So,
And that's a lot of where the Heart Association not directly steps in, but has had an impact on helping to get the word out.
just educate the average lay person. Now, even as opposed to 10 years ago, you walk up to somebody, do you know CPR? The public knows about automated external defibrillators. They're in Walmart. They're on airplanes. Heart Association is responsible for all that.
They really are. And how do they normally get the word out? What's their best vehicle to?
I know they offer classes.
Right.
Funding. Heart Association. They'll buy volunteer groups like these automated external defibrillators. Just classes that the average layperson can sign up for and take. So.
Are there other events within the Heart Association that you're involved on a volunteer basis? The Heart Walk or the Ride-a-thon?
No,
you really stay focused on the Heart Ball.
Yeah.
That's enough of an incredible.
It's a big task.
Who's helping you organize the event this year, Jennifer?
Tammy Eves, Todd Harms, who is our chairperson for the auction committee. Lyndon Bryan, she is the chairperson for the invitation. We have a lot of volunteers, and they are greatly needed, and we could use a lot more.
Yeah, what are some of the things the volunteers would do?
Well, our big thing this year is our auction, our
Right.
silent and live auction.
Right.
We need auction items. If anybody knows of anybody that wants to donate anything to the auction, that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Our invitations, I mean, we have to hand stuff those and write those out and get those out in the mail. That's a huge task.
Right.
Just getting the word out about the Heart Ball.
And if someone wanted to volunteer or buy tickets or wanted to know some auction items, who would they want to call, Jennifer?
American Heart Association.
That's the 626-3939 number. Great, great. When you think about a goal for this year's ball, the goal stretches out to more than money, more than people attending the event. Or is there a primary goal for you this year at the ball?
Well, I mean, obviously, I mean, the primary goal is to raise money.
To raise money.
For funding, I mean, just community service. Have fun, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It really is. I mean, it was a lot of work, but it's going to be really fun this year. And I think if you've ever thought about coming to the Heart Ball and never have, you need to come this year. This is going to be the year.
You heard Jennifer Watson say it. This is going to be the year. The Heart Ball, the 9th annual Heart Ball, her second year as chairwoman, an incredible commitment on her part, but fighting heart disease and strokes is in her blood. Jennifer, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People coming up next. It's not too late to be a part of this year's Heart Ball and grand opening celebration of the new Radisson Plaza Hotel, Myrtle Beach Convention Center on February 22nd. Call 843-626-3939.